Hey guys!
Hey!
It's Haley!
And Ashley!
And this is What the
Podcast.
Welcome back to another week! Can you believe it?
I can't.
Every week I'm like so excited to do the podcast. And then at the end of it, when we're kind of doing the post, not editing, but just uploading, and we type the episode number, I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
This is like what? It's month 6?
Yeah, something like that. It's insane.
It is. This is the best hobby.
And we have 68 followers on YouTube.
Whoop, whoop. You guys.
Which is
Who
odd
would've
because we're
thought?
getting a lot of good on Spotify too. So
I know our stats have like really been going up.
I'm pretty proud.
Thank you guys for listening like really consistently. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, and following us on TikTok and on Instagram.
I've got to say, Ashley has been blowing the TikToks out of the water.
Not as much since the last TikTok.
Still, they're very funny. I love them. And we've got some listeners like in different places. Australia now. We got some Aussies listening. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less than 1%. So,
Yeah.
but
half of a person.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway.
We've hit over 100K or 1,000.
I just saw that.
I haven't seen that yet.
I'm very proud
I
of
forgot to
us.
record that ad, but
We
we'll
can
do
still do it, yeah.
afterwards.
Thank you guys so much for everything.
Yep.
What are we talking about today, Ashley?
A few things, I guess. Stuff that we just
Have been thinking about in the last
Yeah.
couple days. And also the Depp versus Heard trial,
yeah.
which that, happened over a year ago, but Netflix just recently put out their 3-episode
Yeah.
docu-series, I guess you could call it, which I really liked. Apparently, like, even just looking it up online, I think that there's like some really heavy mixed reviews, but I really enjoyed it.
I didn't look at any reviews or anything. I should have, but I didn't.
There are like some articles where I think one article said Depp v. Heard, a wasted opportunity. And I was like, whoa. I thought it was really like, it had me on the edge of my seat.
I didn't like it. I didn't. It was very hard for me to stay focused on it. I was doing a
Really?
puzzle when I was doing it.
Oh,
And which is, I can watch anything while I do a puzzle and
Okay.
it's not like distracting, but it's just, I couldn't,
get
it was
into
so dumb. Like it was so
Really?
unnecessary. Okay, we're already getting into it, but
It's okay. It's okay. Was it like it couldn't keep your attention? Or
no,
it
it was just so dumb.
like cringy? You thought it was cringy?
Yes. Like I wanted to
Really?
skip through 90% of it.
Oh, see, I liked it.
I didn't. Amber was so fake.
Oh, well, don't get me started. Actually, yeah, get me started because that's what the podcast is about. But we can talk about that a little bit later too. But it's so obvious that she's acting.
Yes, but here's my thing. Here's my take. I'm going to say what I don't even know what I think. Here's the thing. I think they both should have been arrested.
They're both definitely in the wrong.
Yes, I think Johnny is an abuser.
Okay.
I think Amber is an abuser.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I think they're both physically and mentally abusive to each other.
Yes. Toxic.
As someone that's, I'm going to say it again, like the millionth time, who's been in a relationship like that, minus the drugs,
Right.
it's like,
No part of it is good for anybody involved.
no. And it's just time to separate.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it almost was like flashbacks for me.
Really?
Yes, because she was so dramatic. And I remember being dramatic like that. And like,
But for me,
not to that extent, obviously, but like,
the drama was one thing, but there were like when she was being questioned, when she was, on trial or whatever,
mhm.
her adding in like what were very obviously like unnecessary details to kind of
Yes.
like curb the question.
The blue couch.
I was just looking at the dirty carpet and I thought to myself, how is it so dirty? And I'm like, you're not reading
A
for a
script,
role.
yeah.
Like it was just so obvious that
I
it was
agree.
played up.
It was
I
so
just-
dumb. I
It
think
really annoyed me.
I think that's what annoyed me was that the whole thing was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like it should have never went to court. It should have never been a thing. Like it should have never existed. I think I wasted like 3 hours of my day.
See, I really, really liked it.
I didn't. I thought it was stupid.
I really didn't find it like cringy.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Kim, there are people dying. That's what it reminds me of.
And you know what? It's very funny because I feel like I very easily get cringed out.
Oh, I did.
And it didn't cringe me. Like, I didn't find it cringy.
And here's the thing. So everybody was team Johnny Depp, and that annoyed me too, because it's like, clearly he's an abuser.
Right.
But I get, like, if you're going by what was in the trial, nobody said he was. It was very, like, pro Johnny, like, whatever. But at the end of the doc, when all those documents came out that saying that they were true.
Well, when they questioned him about the text messages he sent that were very vile, things that he had said about Amber, like just
no, that's not what I was talking about. The texts between his like assistant or whatever and Amber, where he was like, I can't believe he kicked you. Like,
oh yeah.
That was like, why are people still supporting him?
Even though he was abusive as well.
You know, like the hashtag Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Me Too.
Yeah. They I think it was a setback for everybody in an abusive relationship and people that have been sexually assaulted and all that stuff. I think it was just a step backwards because they made a mockery of it, I feel like.
I think that Amber being as like, I don't even know what word to use, like dramatic, but like dramatic to the point of it seems like she's lying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because when you're that dramatic about things that you're like recounting.
They say the more details you add, the more of a lie it is.
Right. And that's exactly when we were watching it, because Zach and I watched it all 3 episodes in one night, because I was like, this is so good. I turned to him at one point and I said, that's how you know that she's lying about some of these parts, is because she's adding in unnecessary details and like just really being very descriptive.
Mm-hmm.
When really all she had to do was sit there and say, yeah, this is what happened.
I will say the funny part of it was when they were talking about pledging the $7 million.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was, that was funny to me because I was like.
Her being like, which y'all can't see, but she's like looking at the jury, like turning her head. Yes, I pledged.
As the attorney is like hounding her, she's like, jury, yes. Remember, I pledged it. I said pledged. I pledged it.
But the thing that really gets me is like, then afterwards they were showing all of these examples of like where pledged and donated are used synonymously in different examples.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, to me, they're two different things.
Did you give them $7 million or not?
Right. But she was not answering that.
Yeah. And that's what the attorney was like.
I pledged. I really liked that Johnny Depp's attorney. I can't think of her name. Yeah. She was very like
cutthroat.
Yeah.
I wonder who else she's represented. She looks familiar, but it might have been from a year ago when I saw the trial.
Johnny Depp's attorney team. Oh, Camille Vasquez.
Who else has she repped? Does it say?
Camille Vasquez.
I know the guy on the team. He's done some other people. Who is the guy?
Oh, yes, he has done some pretty like high profile. I don't know his name either. Hang on.
I'm looking.
Who has Camille Vasquez represented? Let's see. Oh, aside from Johnny Depp, Camille Vasquez has represented celebrity clients like Leonardo DiCaprio, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Kanye West. Wow. Dang.
What's his name?
Anyway, Johnny Depp's attorney team.
Oh, I found him. Benjamin Chew. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but.
Who has Ben Chew represented?
He's familiar looking. Like, I know him from somewhere.
I think that I read somewhere that he has represented Johnny before in the past. I don't know if that's correct or not, but let's see. Over the course of his 30-plus year highly distinguished career, he has represented several notable high-profile individuals and cases, including Cher, 2 cases relating to the Academy Award-nominated Edith and Eddie, Rachel Ray, and more recently, a Venezuelan businesswoman in an action against Fox News. So he does some pretty high-profile cases.
I feel like we shouldn't, like, we didn't explain what the Depp versus Heard thing is to begin with, but like, if you've got to be living under a rock, like, let's be honest.
I mean, it was inescapable last year.
What do you think about, do you think she pooped on his pillow?
Yes, I do.
I do too. Could you imagine that? Like, I sit there and think about, like, I picture it and I'm like, I could never pop a squat
that's what I'm
on my
saying.
bed and just poop.
The part that got me was where she was like, no, it was the dogs. And then, and then Johnny Depp's like, they're teacup Yorkies. Like,
yeah,
that's a very big difference.
And what is up with her obsession with taking photos of him
sleeping,
drugged out? Yeah.
Or
and
nodded
sleeping.
out or whatever.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I was so glad when Camille was questioning her. She was like, you seem to like really like taking photos of him in this state. And she was like, I was trying to like protect him or something. She was like, I care about him. And Camille said, you think that this is in his best interest, that you're taking photographs of him and sending them to your friends?
She's like, my support. I needed support.
Yeah.
I needed the support. I'm like, oh my God.
There were a lot of pictures.
Now, that's the thing about Johnny too, is that everybody, like, I just hate how everybody was so team Johnny because he clearly abuses drugs really bad.
Right.
Alcohol.
He's got a problem.
Clearly. And he's an aggressive drunk. Right. Clearly. Yes. After even the videos, that's what killed me is just, it's our culture. I don't know. But like the videos that they post, like they showed during the trial were just like insane. Like,
they're very violent.
Like, catch me outside.
People.
Like,
right. Yes, I agree.
And then his bodyguard, or not his bodyguard, it's like his assistant or something. Mm-hmm. The one that said that that pissed me off because
Are you talking about the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
When he was on the stand under oath, might I add, the entire, I don't remember.
Oh, yes, I know.
I don't remember.
And then
I said I don't remember.
That's the one part where I was like agreeing. He
should have gotten charged with something for lying under oath because the text messages came out afterwards, which kind of was the judge kind of biased because she wouldn't allow those text messages in. How were those not related?
I didn't understand that either. And then they were like, they didn't allow them because everybody knew they'd make Johnny look bad. And I was like, you're in a court of law that can be used as evidence. Why would you not allow them?
Yeah.
But yes, when the guy was sitting up there, it was about the plane incident, and they had been aggressive on the plane and he had been using drugs, and Camille's attorney was like, you're telling me you don't remember if he was conscious or not? And he said, I don't recall.
Yeah,
I don't recall. That irked me so
that
bad.
Pissed me off because he's clearly lying under oath.
What's that called?
Perjury.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I just, pisses me off. The whole thing was kind of just dumb. It was a waste of time.
I liked it.
Give it 5 stars.
We'll agree to disagree.
I started watching it the first night, the last night, the night that you left for the podcast. Yeah, I started to watch it and I was like, nope, can't do it.
Really?
And then it was a Monday night. I watched it all.
See, Monday night is the first night that I watched it, and I watched it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
But I really liked it.
It was too much for me. It's too much of a dramatic, like it just reminds me how fricked up our culture is right now, like our society, because like everyone was so team Johnny and hated Amber Heard, but he was clearly just as abusive as she was.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of, and I hate to go back to it again, but I was in a similar, not like that bad or anything. It wasn't like crazy like that, but it was enough where like no one believed me afterwards.
Like mentally taxing.
Yes. And no one believed me afterwards. Like when I told a couple people, they were like, what? that was the nicest guy I've ever met. And I'm like, yeah, well, the devil himself.
Somebody
No, I'm
can
just
be
kidding.
nice to other people, but then be...
He is. And that's the thing. I'm not bashing this person, but I'm just saying, like, our personalities didn't mix.
Right.
And it was toxic. It was just terrible. So it was over.
Right.
And it needed to be over because it was so bad. And that's where I'm getting with the similarities. It was just, you were so bad for your partner that it was just like,
it needs to be done.
It needs to be done. Like, some people just do not mix well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And
I agree.
I think Johnny and Amber are a perfect example of that. Like, they shouldn't have never even been together.
Mm-mm.
Now, in the first, like, honeymoon stage, yeah, I get where you don't know it, but you start seeing signs.
Yeah, you can love a person but also understand, okay, I love this person very much.
100%.
We cannot be together.
100%. That's how it was. Like, I always have love for this person, but
yeah, you have to spare yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. You got to put yourself first.
Right. As much as you think it's going to hurt to not be with that person.
I had to lose you to love me.
Selena said it best, y'all. Selena said it best. Yeah, no, it's a hard thing to do, but when it gets to that point where it's
like you just gotta break it apart. And
so toxic.
It is. Oh, stories. Anyway,
redacted.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, they just shouldn't have been together, and it was just like it was like I can't imagine like myself and this person like being broadcasted for everybody to see like that. Like, I just cannot.
That would be horrible.
Horrible. Just because they weren't good for each other. Johnny might be with the next person and be the perfect partner.
Right.
And Amber might be with the next person and be the perfect partner. And it might work. Like, just like with my husband. Like, I met my husband and, I mean, sure, we argue, but like, it's nothing like.
It's like a totally different
dynamic.
Exactly.
And it's just sometimes you bring it out in people. Like, for instance, I have a family member that their high school sweetheart was their high school sweetheart. They got married, had kids, and it just ended up not working out because
I just don't understand
they just did not mesh well. And she's now married and been married for a hot minute.
Yeah. To me, it seems like it would be so easily recognizable if you bring out the worst in someone and vice versa.
Yeah, it is. Well, I think the problem is that you love too hard in those relationships.
Yeah.
Like, you're almost blinded by it. Like, with my husband and I, obviously I love him hard, but like, I know his flaws and stuff like that. But when it's toxic and stuff, I hate using that word toxic, but when it's like not right and you're not meshing well, you love them so hard that it's like you just don't even see it.
The signs.
No, until like you're a year or two later and it's gotten bad.
Yeah. So it's so difficult.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard for me to like, I've not been in a situation like that. So it's hard for me to.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty naturally empathetic person. So I try to think, okay, what would I do if I was in that situation? But it's so different when
like, and I think I'm in pretty, like, I feel like I can read people pretty well, like their moods. Like, I can tell when someone's upset or like annoyed. I can tell just by their body language. I'm really good at reading people.
Yeah.
But like, for instance, like this partner, I couldn't read. I couldn't.
Well, I think it's like, especially if they have narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because at that point, they really don't have like emotions in that kind of sense. So they're just faking them. And I'd like
to point out, because I do talk about my past relationships, I would
give
like to point out that it was 50-50 problems. Like, it was not just like this person. It was purely, I was crazy.
You're also young.
Yeah, obviously, like super young. But like, because I mean, I've been with my husband for like 12, 13 years. So it's been a long time ago. But like I know, like, it's almost like, you're the problem. Like, we've talked about it before with like friendships and stuff. Like, it's almost heartbreaking when you have to realize, ooh, maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah. It's almost always a two-way street.
Yeah.
You know,
that was mainly what I was trying to say. It was just like, I'm not pushing blame on anybody but myself, but.
Well, there's two people.
Yeah. Takes two to tango.
Period. I love that saying. It's very true, though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I feel like I have to also put another disclaimer. If you think you know who I'm talking about, you don't.
It's not anybody that anybody would know.
No.
So get the idea out of your head.
Yeah. Anyway, but just from personal experience, I just think it was a shit show to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
They should have never been together.
Yeah.
Their personalities did not mesh. I'm not saying Johnny Depp is an abuser. Like, I don't think he just goes and beats women up. Like, I really don't.
But in that specific scenario.
I think he was. Right. And I think she was too. I think she forced it too. Like, pushed him to the brink. And that's another thing. God, I feel like I'm really talking about my relationships. But that was one thing I can do is I can push somebody to the...
Instigate.
Oh, yeah. And that's obviously not healthy. So you should never be in a relationship where it gets to that point.
Right.
I've learned in a relationship, this is like dating advice, but like in a relationship, like with my husband and stuff, if it gets so bad, you just walk away and like just cool down, just chill. I mean, don't get me wrong. I say some pretty mean things sometimes, but I learned, you don't
have to let it blow up to a point.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
But it's one of those, and in this relationship, I'm going to compare it to my last, is that at the end of the night, I know my husband's not going to go anywhere. Like, I trust him enough that like we are committed to each other and like, no matter what we say to each other that's hurtful, at the end of the night, he loves me.
You're going to come back together and be...
Yes, and be a unit. I've never had that before.
Scenario is like a teaching lesson, like a learning. Something can be learned.
Every other relationship I've ever been in, it's always been, which I was young.
Right.
You know what I mean? But super young.
The fear.
I never knew if I was going to be with that person the next day.
Yeah.
Now with my husband, I know it's like we're a unit, and no matter what, at the end of the day,
we're sticking together.
We're sticking together.
Yeah.
Not because we're married, because we're partners.
Being young and being in a relationship, it's like you want...
It's your hormones too. You're like flying high.
Everything is the end of the world.
Yes.
And you also want that person to like you so badly.
Yes. That you'll change yourself. And like, for example, I had someone in my life who did not like the kind of music I listened to.
Oh, God.
So when I had my first car, every time I went to their house, I would hide my music under my seat in a little pocket that my little Saturn Ion had underneath the seat. And I'd have Christian music playing when they would get in my car because I was so scared that they would be upset with me for listening to the wrong music.
It's just such a complicated...
And it's because I was a teenager.
Right. It's such a complicated
so
age.
Dumb.
You want everybody to like you.
Yes.
But especially when you like somebody, you're like, oh, I will do anything it takes.
Yeah.
For you
I do not miss those days.
I don't either.
I would never go back.
I know. Somebody said the other day, like, oh, I'd love to go back to high school. And I was like,
yeah, no.
We had different experiences.
Now, if I was medicated, yeah, I'd go back. because my emotions wouldn't have been so high.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't have been like a crazy person.
Well, it's still, I mean, I don't know, unless, and this is not, again, we talked about this in the high school reunion episode. I'm not saying this to be mean, but unless you peaked in high school and you just really had a great high school experience and were popular and really didn't have to worry about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
High school for me was like a tumultuous time. Like, it was not, I had friends, and I did yearbook and things like that, but it's the constant fear of, gosh, I don't want people to think that I'm like weird or like, I want people to like me. It's just...
I went through such a depressive phase, but you got to think, so my dad died when I was in 8th grade.
Right.
And that was hard already because I was 14. My hormones are like insane.
Yeah.
I just lost literally my number one person in my world, like, because me and my dad were close. And it took a toll on me. And now that I look back, I'm like, dang, like I had some problems.
Yeah.
Like mentally. And, I should have been medicated, and then I eventually got on antidepressants. But still, I should have been medicated with other things, and no one just saw the signs. And what was my point? What were we talking about? My brain just went blank.
being 14 and
Oh, yeah. And then you get in high school, and then I'm in this relationship that's absolutely terrible for me, to the point of like where I'm eating lunch outside this person's classroom every day by myself, every single day by myself outside their classroom. Enough that the teacher finally came outside of his classroom and was like, I made a desk for you. You can eat in my classroom from now on.
Oh my gosh.
You know how embarrassing that was for me? Because back then, I don't know if it was like that when you were at the high school, you weren't allowed in the actual building while at lunch. Like you were not allowed in the building at all. Like yearbook room, nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could not eat anywhere.
It wasn't like that. I ate lunch in yearbook every single day.
I did my junior year. Towards the end, I did. Because I had nowhere else to go.
Right.
And so my 10th grade year, we had separate lunches, me and this. Anyway, but it was so embarrassing sitting in the hallway every single day, just eating my lunch by myself. Didn't have my phone, didn't do nothing. I just sat there.
Yeah.
And it was so just like, depressing. Like,
yeah.
It's like eating alone in the bathroom. That's what it was the equivalent of for me.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was horrible.
I get that. Being in a
so
state
I never
of mind,
want to go back to that.
Yeah, that's bad. Was that like, did you just feel like you had nowhere to go, and so you were like,
yes,
this is
well, one, I wasn't allowed to have friends. So that was mainly it.
Right.
But two, it was just like I didn't have anywhere to go. I felt like a lost puppy because I was so like, I was so dependent on somebody else that I couldn't be my own person. I was not my own person until I met my husband.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's how I grew up in like the situations I've seen growing up or whatever, but like I've always felt like you got to be dependent on a man.
Yeah.
Or a boy or whatever, a teenager. I don't know.
Right.
Well, that sounds weird.
Just have that other part.
Yes, to someone to depend on.
Right.
Now I'm at an age where, like, of course I depend on my husband. Like, he's my ride or die.
But
he
you're an
literally
individual.
will save me. I know I'm, like, if he's gone for a week on a work trip, I will survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's so refreshing. Now, if I was like, that's why I always tell my husband this, that I do not want Giacomo in a serious relationship. I've said it on the podcast before. I do not want him in a serious relationship while in high school because your hormones are insane.
Yeah.
You're like, hormones, not like sexually. That's not what I'm talking about. But like just
your
emotions are
thinking.
so heightened and you become so obsessed. And it's just like it's just not anybody that I know that didn't marry their high school sweetheart that was in a serious relationship in high school. They regret it. Well,
it's because you fixate so easily on things because everything is so heightened.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be the same person that you are I mean, even we're constantly evolving.
Yes. I'm not the same person I was when I was 16.
Neither am I, by a long shot.
Yeah. My mindset's different. Like the way I view the world is different. Like I'm just not the same person. And like I said before, I'm not hating on anybody when I talk about my past. No. It's purely like they're probably 100% a different person.
It's
and they're probably the nicest person to their partners and whatever. But we were not
that.
Yeah. So it would have never worked, which is fine. We're in high school and this is fine.
Yeah. But it didn't feel like that.
It did not feel like that.
It doesn't feel like, oh, well, it's just high school.
No, it does not feel like that when you're in high school.
Not at all. Not at all. And you're wanting to prove to everybody
that it's not. Right? Yeah.
And so that's in the mix as well. You just couldn't pay me. And for me, I didn't date in high school.
Yeah.
I liked boys. I liked boys in high school. And I think that maybe, had something to do with my decision making because I liked not like a ton of boys, but boys that I was friends with, and I was like, oh, I just like this person so badly that I'll change myself and like be this person.
Yeah. Not
anything bad or anything like that, but just wanting to be somebody that they liked back.
Yeah.
To the point where it was like all consuming.
Isn't it so refreshing now though that you don't have to think like that?
Oh my gosh.
Like your partner loves you for
it's
you.
So like, and especially for me being somebody who like really was never in serious relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But just even having that mode of thinking, being a teenager and like, will do anything that I have to do for this person to like me back. And then now I'll be like, oh, I don't care what the heck I look like or like what I do. Like I'll, I'm just who I am, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, my thing now is like, if you don't like it, take a hike. Like,
yes.
And that's just loving yourself. It's you gotta lose you to love me.
You can't, and it's so cringy, not cringy, but it's like cheesy, but it's so true. You cannot give part of yourself to somebody else unless you're firm in who you don't have to be totally and completely firm in who you are, but you have to be okay enough that you're an individual.
Right.
Like exactly like what you said. I know that if anything were to happen, which, pray to God nothing ever does, but we're fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'm a person. I can rely on myself.
Yeah.
It is very refreshing.
It's so, I think that's why I harp on the past so much, because it's so like mind boggling that like, why
that you were in a situation like that.
Yeah. Like I'm just like me now
today
would never.
Right. But like we said, it's a totally different person.
Yeah. If I saw myself at 16 again, I'd be like, bro.
It's like you want to smack yourself and be like, snap out of it.
Yeah.
It is very crazy. And I understand why, as a mother, you would not want your son to in something like that. Like, just be a
where you're
teenager.
just consumed in somebody else as a teenager. Yeah. Which, then again, I do want him to, like, if he wants to date, I'm 100% behind it. Like, that doesn't bother me. But to be
being
like
so committed,
like I'm like, you're not going to come on vacation with me. Like, the girlfriend's not coming on vacation,
right?
Or like
we're
spending Christmas morning at our house. Like, no.
Jeez, Louise.
I mean, maybe Thanksgiving or something, but like, just where you're all like, that's your like promise rings and all that stuff. I'm like, no.
Is it? But then I also think, is it inevitable? Not necessarily like the promise rings and things like that. Yeah. Parents can say, no. But when you're thinking of another person's emotions.
Yes. That's the thing too. That's what I try to remind myself is like, if he feels those feelings,
I can't
stop him.
Right.
Or I can't be like, you can't feel that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't happen
it's
like
gonna
that.
happen naturally.
And who knows? Maybe he'll meet a girl in the 9th grade and they'll be together until they're freaking old.
Yeah.
Because I went to high school with a bunch of people that are still together that have been dating since the 7th grade.
Wow.
Like,
it's a long time.
Yes. And there's a lot of people out there like that. And I'm so proud of them. Like, good for you. You grew together.
Right.
You grew into your own people together.
It's a conscious effort to stay together.
The whole point was that not everybody should be together.
Yeah, period.
Just like friendships. It's just like friendships.
Yeah. They either work or they just don't work, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. My people who I consider best friends and people still who I love dearly,
mm-hmm.
I have no, we don't talk, and it's not because any terrible thing happened. It's just because, we're growing, we're on our own paths.
Yeah.
But they're living their lives and I'm living my life, and I love them dearly, but we just, are different people.
That's what I meant earlier too. It's just like, I love the people I've loved in life. I will love forever because, well, not all of them, but like
there are people that you still love. Like,
yes, I will love them in a way of, I hope you're
doing
happy,
okay.
healthy.
Right. You care about them,
but I never want to see you again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about it.
I wouldn't want to run into you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can care about somebody and know, I should probably never ever come in contact with this person again.
I wish you the best, but
have any affiliation, and that's a healthy thing. I think
it is too. Setting boundaries, just like my husband. Like, there's people in his past that I don't expect him to. Obviously, like, he doesn't talk to them, but like, if you
wish any
truly
ill
love
intent,
somebody,
you know,
you'll always have something
right.
for them. Like if someone like my friends in high school, like if something were to happen to them, it would hurt my soul a little bit.
Yeah.
And by friends in high school, I'm talking more like junior high, but
no, but those are people
who
that,
I don't talk to anymore. Like I can
right.
think of like a few that if something were to happen to them, it would really like be a gut punch.
Crushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because you care about that, especially at one point in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Those people were like
something.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Especially the one little group of friends that I had in like 7th, 8th, and 9th. Well, actually, it was 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. I will always have appreciation for them because 8th grade was a dark time for me because of my dad and stuff like that. And they really, now did they bully me? Yeah. But
took you in a way.
They took me in a way. They gave me somewhere to sit at lunch, and it was a group of dudes, but like they all were like,
had your back.
I felt like they did. I mean, they might think differently, but to me, from my point of view, they were like, I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Because they were there for me when I clearly wasn't in the right state of mind.
Yeah. And
like, even if it was a simple, just like, hey, sit with us at lunch. Like,
that's so necessary.
It is, because as a kid, I've always felt so alone.
Yeah.
Because like growing up, I had a childhood best friend that we've known each other since we were like 3. And anytime we hung out with other people, I always felt like I was the third wheel.
Yeah.
Like anywhere, I've never I've never fit into place in my life. This is going to sound cheesy.
No,
until I met you.
I sympathize with this.
Yeah. I feel like I've never.
The group of friends when you're the one walking behind.
Yes.
In every scenario.
Yeah.
And it's very like, that really takes, even as an adult, like.
It's hard.
So hard. And it's impossible to make connections with people at a certain age. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, unless,
in any age, it's really hard.
It is. It's like when you're in school, you're forced to be in this setting with peers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to trust these people or like have connections with these people. And yeah, you're correct. That's the same at any age and beyond.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, you get a little older and you can't just say, hey, be my friend.
Yeah.
Sit with me during lunch.
Yeah.
You know, that's difficult, but I very much agree.
I'll always be grateful for that group of guys, even though to them they might have not seen it as that. But for me, they saved my life in a lot of senses because I've always struggled with like certain mental health issues. I'm not going to like
delve into.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say, saved me at some points. Like, cause I was just like, I've always been an emotional person.
Right.
And, like outbursts, like I've just always been super like over the top. And it's always, and now that I look back, it's like homie was bipolar or like,
right.
And I'm so sick of people. There's people in my life that do say like, you can't blame everything on that. Like, people don't understand how it's genuinely like it affects.
Again, all consuming. It's like every
hyperfixation on your emotions and like, it's wild. Like
hard to live that way.
100%. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it except someone that's been through it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's going to be bright.
Woo.
But,
no, I get that. I think for me, it was a little bit different because while I didn't necessarily have those, you know, mental health struggles and like just, you know, but I feel like, I don't know, I really didn't have any outbursts, but I was very in my head all the time. And so you add that to the mix of not feeling like anybody really truly is your friend and you don't really fit in, and the way that you grew up. So for me, which is still something that I struggle with, I just keep it all in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just shove it down.
See, I was always the one to express it.
Yeah.
I was very much like I knew something was wrong with me when, so when my dad died, I made a Facebook or a MySpace page that was like because right before he died, he said, I'm going to make a MySpace page and I'll be your friend.
Oh.
So when he died, I made him one.
Yeah.
And he, so it smells like something's on fire.
I think the incense just went down.
That candle in the bathroom is stressing me out.
You want to go blow it out real
Yes.
quick? Okay. BRB. Oh.
Just talk.
Okay. Well, Ashley's blowing out a candle. Hopefully her bathroom is not on fire. Was it?
No.
Was it good? Okay. It's just open flame.
Yeah.
NBD.
Anyway, but so I made him a MySpace page and he was like, he was dead. Anyway, so what I would do is I'd write on his wall and just like, hey, I miss you today, like blah, blah, blah. Oh. So my mom calls the school.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm worried about her because she's like talking to MySpace about her dad. And it's pretty some emotional stuff.
That makes me like tear up a little bit.
And the school then creates a club because of moi.
Okay.
From my understanding, at least. It was called the something Friends Club. And it was every kid whose parent died.
Oh, okay.
It was like only like 10 of us.
You know, that's not a bad idea, though.
I mean, I get where they were coming from, but you know how awkward it is to sit in a circle to talk about your dead parents?
Especially at that age.
At that age, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so there was that. And then I had to do Friday advisory, you know, like advisory, second period or whatever. Every Friday I had to go to advisory in the principal's office so he can discuss how I mentally was.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. And he made me make a poster, a collage of my dad. Yeah. And bring it in as a project so I could tell him how I'm feeling.
What?
At the vice principal's office. Yeah. So I was not there mentally.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm just.
They were like wanting you to process it in a way that you couldn't process it.
Yeah.
And when you force somebody to not necessarily grieve in a certain way, but like process or deal with emotions and you're, you know, coming to terms with it and living with it in a totally different way, that's very confusing.
Yeah. And I was already a depressed kid like before that because I've never fit in anywhere. Like I've always felt like the odd man out.
Yeah.
And so I was always just so depressed. And then that happened, which made it even worse. And I'll just never forget in school, like I had to go out in the hallway a couple times because I had outbursts in the middle of class.
Really?
Like screaming, throwing things, like crying, like not because my dad died. It was just mentally I'm
something
not
set you off. Like,
I was just like not right in the head. But anyway, that's my spiel. Anyway, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp shouldn't have been together to begin with.
End of story.
Yeah.
That's okay. I think deep. That was a necessary tangent, though, I think
it was. Now, I feel like we should have one not recorded so I can say names and drop
and just
stories.
Let it out. Well, it's kind of, it's like a diary in that way.
Yes.
You know, you don't necessarily have to keep a journal to get things out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what this, I mean, to a somewhat
degree,
censored degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes we just talk about stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also
high school. Anyway, I just don't get why anybody would go back to high school.
Yeah, me either.
I don't get it.
You couldn't pay me.
Now, I would go back and do it all over differently. I wouldn't do the same thing over again.
This is a good question. Well, I guess you kind of just answered your own question, but if you had the choice to go back and do things differently, but know that it would set you back 15 years and you would have to live your life all over again, would you do it? Like if you had to make a choice today, you go back, you have kind of a better mindset, but you have to live that 15 years over again.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it at all.
I wouldn't have my kid. Now, if Giacomo and my husband weren't in the picture and I was just some single lad on the side of the road.
Lass?
No, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go back and do it again.
Would you?
I would do it differently if I could remember how I did it the first time.
Do you think that you might make, not necessarily like all of the choices, especially having a different mindset, but do you think that inevitably you would make some of the same choices?
I would probably find another relationship.
Yeah.
Because I'm comfortable
with somebody.
A partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been single. Even my teenage years, I had the same boyfriend teenage, and then my husband.
Right.
And like a couple in between, but like they don't count.
Yeah, they don't count. Sorry, but not to you, but to those.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
I've always been in a relationship, and that could be how I was raised too.
I think a lot of the choices and the way that we live has to do with
how we were raised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
But
to some degree, though, because like, some people take how they were raised and do the opposite because they know better.
Right.
I'm not saying like what I do, like I like to be in a relationship. It's not a bad thing.
No.
Now, should you always, if I was bouncing relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, like 10 in a year period and in love with all of them, then we have a problem. But like, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a partner in life.
I don't think so. I mean, isn't that kind of the point?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, nowadays it's not, but yeah.
No, nowadays it's not, but I don't know. The
American dream is not the American dream anymore.
No, it's not. It's not. Even as somebody, though, like me, who I am now, looking at who I was, and this is somebody that I've been single up until I was married, pretty much, you know, I can't foresee living my life without my husband. Like, even now, like thinking about living out the rest of my days, or like, you know, just being an old person, I could be happy, you know, but I don't know, you want somebody to share it with.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I don't know.
I agree.
It's such an emotional episode.
It is. We got deep.
We really did. Down to
the
depths.
Yeah.
Down
That's
to
the title.
The depth.
That's got to be the title. Write it down.
Okay.
Write it down.
Give me a sticky note.
Where's the pen?
I'll just put it on my phone. Down to the
I don't know why you think I'd have sticky notes in here.
I'm still in like work mode. Oh. We really do finish each other's sentences.
Sandwiches.
Down to the depths. You heard it here.
You have a stroke.
You heard it here first, folks. Down to the depths. Okay, that was good. Wow. Thanks, yearbook.
Yeah. So, update on our friendship that we made with another podcast. There's no updates. We have not talked to them since last week.
Well, we also never responded to them.
Oh, oops.
I checked a couple days ago because I was like,
rude.
Kind of sad. Like, I was very kind of excited, but we actually did not respond to them.
Ooh, we should message them and say we're pumped for your first episode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll do it. You know what? When's it coming out? In September?
Yeah.
Just live tweeting, pretty much.
Yeah. But we did get a Instagram message from another podcast that said share for share.
Revine for Revine?
Yeah. And I was just like, they're not my vibe. No offense. No, when they start out here, I'll read you the message.
Oh, hope they're not listening.
I don't care.
Oh,
no, we're not their cup of tea.
No, it's okay.
I listened to
That's
their
okay.
podcast.
That's the whole point of this episode. You can be somebody's not cup of tea, and that's okay.
It's not bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Like their podcast isn't bad. I listened to it and it wasn't anything. It was just about like, which I probably should listen to it, but it's about like, here, let me view their profile. The ultimate guide to creating a life you love. That's their podcast description. Probably shouldn't just name drop them, but actually we can. Beauty and Brains. Oh. No, because I'm hyping them up. Their podcast was not bad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I listened to the first episode. They're not from here, I don't think. They have an accent, so they're, I think, out of the country.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they sound really nice. But they were just like, hey girls, we started a pod a few days ago, kind of struggling with visibility. It was sweet. I don't know why I'm making fun of it. I'm not. Because
we're in the same position. I mean, we're kind of in the same position.
Like, it just, what I meant to say was their podcast is not my cup of tea.
The
theme, the meditation, and
yes.
That's just not my thing.
Yeah, me either, because I can't get into that. But very sweet of them to like reach out, because that is very true, especially when you recognize like other small creators.
Yeah,
like it's you have a little bit of a community.
Yeah.
I just
maybe we should follow them.
I think we should.
I think so too.
We need to be supportive.
No, I was making fun of them at first. I shouldn't have. They were nice.
We want to formally apologize.
I'm formally apologizing.
Haley, see how quick we are though to like recognize our mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this whole episode's a mistake, but it's okay.
What? No,
because I don't know.
Is it too deep?
No, I don't really care about. I will sit here and air out any dirty laundry. Do not get me started. But I always think back, what if my husband listens to this? But like, he's not going to care. But he always does you always talk about your past. And I'm like, well, what else am I supposed to talk about? My future?
No, I think I like it when we plan a certain episode. Not that like a ton of planning went into this episode specifically, TBH, but it goes a different way, and that's just the way that it was meant to go.
I really like it. Yeah,
I do too. I feel like this is probably one of my favorite episodes so far.
Do you have any random topics?
You know what?
What did you write down earlier?
This that I'm bringing up right now. So Ashley and I, and we mentioned this in past episodes as well.
I don't remember this at all, so I have no idea where you're going with this.
In 5 words or less.
Okay.
We both have started new hobbies.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I think that it's really good, but I also know our personalities.
Mm-hmm.
We not with the podcast though, because this one is like the one-off. Like this is the one thing that neither of us are like, yeah, I'm kind of getting ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
We're very like gung-ho every week.
Yeah.
But in other hobbies that we've pursued individually, we're very like obsessed with it for 2 weeks.
And then we're done.
And then that's kind of over.
Hey, this new hobby though.
But yes, we both have new hobbies that we're very excited about. Ashley, I would like for you to tell the listeners a little about yours.
So you guys, not only do I do puzzles, I do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone into Legos. Legos, man, and they're so expensive.
And there's nothing wrong with Legos are like puzzles. Like,
yes,
you're putting this thing together. But yes, quite the expensive hobby.
Y'all, if everyone Venmos me $1 and I can get 469, something like that. People to Venmo me $1.
Mm-hmm. $1.
Then I can afford to get the green. This is what we need to do. First giveaway. Everybody donate $1.
Are you going to give something away?
I'll give away what I build to one person. Give me $1, people. I'll start a GoFundMe.
That's contingent on if she makes enough to get the set.
Yeah, obviously. And then if not, I'll refund all the money. I don't care. But
it's going to be a lot of refunds.
But no, seriously. I'm not kidding about the dollar thing. I did put on TikTok today. I made a TikTok about it, and I was like, if everyone donates 1 penny to me, and if this goes viral, I can buy a Lego set.
And you can vlog the whole thing.
I will.
I think it's a good hobby to have. It
keeps
you busy. It's not something that's like, well, it is expensive.
It's hella expensive.
That's the downfall, because Legos are stupidly expensive.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go to off-brand.
Well, you did build an off-brand.
I did build an off-brand. It was very difficult to build.
The consistency of the Lego, of the pieces are very different.
Yes, and they are not... I mean, they're doable.
Although you do have a tool.
I do have a tool.
That can help.
Okay, so Legos is my thing. So right now I'm on Lego TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. I love
Lego
TikTok.
How are people affording to have a hobby?
Well, a lot of them say they're in credit card debt. But seriously though, the Lego community, I'm happy to be a part of it. Like I built one thing and now I want to build like the Empire State Building. Like
she said what the other day you said I really want to build the Titanic.
yes.
And I said honestly, for as much as it costs you to buy the Titanic Lego set, we could probably go to the Titanic.
Yeah. I mean Ocean Gate.
Oh, oof.
But yeah. I Legos, and I want to start doing miniature rooms, like where you need like tweezers and
like
stuff,
the magnifying glass,
and
where
you just. Like, but I'm so shaky. I don't know if I'd be good at it.
Maybe it would help.
Maybe hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, and that's something that you could DIY. Like all you really need is paint. You need some wood to like build the stuff. Or you're talking about ordering the little furniture pieces and putting it all together.
Yeah, or buying a kit.
You could maybe get a kit to do the first one,
and
then if you love it, maybe you'll find that you like to DIY it.
Yeah,
or maybe you'll just like the kits.
I need like to be someone's like sugar sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Not like a sugar baby. That's gross.
No, yeah.
No offense if someone does that. That's
we just
all
want
on
somebody
you,
that will like monetarily support our crafts.
Yes. There's got to be like a website for that, right?
Well, the hobbies that I am really getting into recently, I used to like 3 or 4 years ago make earrings out of polymer clay, which is very fun. And then I stopped doing it. But now I'm starting to do it again and I really like it.
I need to see an example.
I'll show you some of the ones that I've done.
Okay.
I've converted
She has not made me one yet, guys.
I offered.
Oh yeah, skate. I have a skate.
Well, you can have 2 pairs of skates. Earrings. Skating earrings.
I want a Lego piece.
I can do it.
Okay.
I actually saw Tetris molds. And they were so cute. So I can guarantee you that I can make you a Lego piece.
Sweet.
Lego piece earrings.
Sweet.
Okay, anyway. Actually, I'll write that down. Don't let me forget. Also, and this is not a hobby that I've yet started, but a hobby that I am looking to
I don't know what it is.
Happen. Quilting.
Oh, yeah.
I love quilts. And I've always wanted to learn how to sew. So I've asked for a sewing machine for my birthday, which I am pretty sure that I will be receiving, hopefully. And I just feel like, that's such a good gift to give. I have a
quilt I should show you that. Please, I have.
I love quilts.
Giacomo's I need to hit up my my grandma's sister. She does quilting. She has her own quilting room.
Oh my gosh.
And she made Giacomo a quilt when he was a baby and he still sleeps with it.
See, that's what I mean. Like, they're such beautiful gifts to give. It's one of my
favorite items I own in this house is that quilt.
It's just so much like love goes into it. And it's such like a very calm, like, well, I don't know if it's calming, but the end result is like something that you couldn't get anywhere else.
That's how I am about puzzles, because puzzles are so like calming to do.
Yeah.
A little stressful sometimes, but they're very calming. And at the end, like when you're finished with it, it's like
you feel so like
a master. Like it's just.
Yeah. You did that.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm not creative. So like building things is like, and doing like puzzles and stuff are very much.
You have a tangible
I'm very hyper fixated on it right now.
I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's good. I think it's really good for you.
I just wish it wasn't so expensive.
I know, it's crazy expensive. Maybe you should take out a personal loan.
Right.
Build your credit and build Legos.
Yeah. Lego channel coming soon.
And if you like this podcast, guys, go and support Ashley's Lego building channel.
Yeah. I do have a puzzle Instagram, which
she does.
Don't think I've ever told anybody about it.
Well, you just dropped it here on the podcast.
Well, I'm not going to say the title.
I do have an earring Instagram that I've not used in 3 years, but
oh my gosh,
here it is.
Click on one. I've never seen any of your earrings ever. Let me see.
Here, you can look at them. Those aren't that great.
Those are cute. I don't know what you're talking about.
But a lot of time and like love really went into them, and it was very fun to do.
I love them.
So I'm really getting back into it now.
Peaches and cream. I love them. I love the studs.
I would post them on Facebook and actually I got quite a few people to buy some pairs like back in the day and I was very
the
excited.
lemons are so stinking cute. I love lemons.
Thank you. I was very proud of those and the picture, like the photos that I
Those
take.
ones are good too.
Thank you.
Those are very trendy.
Those were all made by hand, by the way. This was back before I had any stamps or anything. So I was making all of those by hand. And
What's
with like a butter
crazy
knife.
is that these are trending now.
I know. What can I say?
Like you predicted the trends.
What can I say?
Like the fruits and stuff, like Home Goods. That's all it is right now is like fruits and
Yeah. It's all very like summery, like citrus.
boho, like those ones
Little
with the little
strawberries.
rainbows. Yes, the ones that we were just talking about that looks like
Yeah.
a rainbow.
Those are that was
Every
my favorite.
teacher on the first day of school wore them.
That's what I was like. I kept a
Those
pair
are
for
so
myself
cute.
because I was like, yeah, these are it. Anyway, enough about my earrings. I just think that it's nice that we both have hobbies that we're getting into creatively.
My husband said I can't get into hot Legos though.
What about the off-brand Legos? Are you
Maybe.
willing to consider the off-brand Legos?
I'm willing. I'm willing to build anything you can give me. Okay, here's another thing. If you guys want to send me a Lego set, I'll build it and mail it back to you.
Yeah,
It's just the building part I want to do.
Okay, I think that's a good compromise.
Yeah, just pay for the shipping and I will mail it back to you. However, I will be an nervous wreck because stuff like that bothers me so bad. It's one of my like ticks is the thought of me shipping a product to somebody. Like say if I were to start a business and I started
Yes.
shipping things and stuff like that, the thought of sending a bad product would stress me out.
That is a giant fear of mine as well. A giant fear because
Like I don't want to send a box of Legos and it just come and crumbled.
one of the earrings, like pair of earrings that I sold when I first started doing that, like 3 years ago, I sold to a girl. And then she, as soon as I got back home from giving her the earrings, she messaged me and said they broke. And I was like,
no.
oh, so I instantly made her another pair and like I refunded her the money and gave her the other pair.
Yeah.
But I was like, that could never happen again.
Yeah. One time I did back in Facebook Marketplace when we used to sell a lot, I sold a pair of leggings. Come to find out there's a huge hole in them.
Oh no.
And I blocked her.
Oh, Ashley.
I was young.
Did she say, hey, there's a huge hole in these?
I don't remember if she noticed. I noticed it right before I gave it to her.
Oh, so you don't know if she responded.
I don't remember. This again was like 13, 14 years ago.
I probably need to put some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, honestly, because I've got some stuff that is practically new that I just can't fit anymore because I've gained so much weight.
Holler at your girl.
That I'm like, okay, it's yours.
I need new clothes. All I have is work shirts that fit.
Come over.
Speaking of work, we might be going on some trips here soon.
We might.
So, podcast will probably be filmed
In advance.
I would think is how we're going to do this.
Yeah, possibly.
And I'll just take my computer with me.
We'll
and
cross that
upload
bridge
it.
when we get there.
Ooh, from a hotel. It'll be fun though. It'll be fun.
It'll buff. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We will figure it out. I'm very proud of us.
I did have 2 topics I wanted to talk about.
Bring them up.
They're really short and sweet.
Do you mind if I use the restroom real quick?
Go
Why do
for
I have
it.
to pee during every episode?
I don't know. You do drink a lot of water.
Anyway, BRB.
Okay, BRB. And we're back.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, what were your topics?
Oh, okay. 2 things I noticed today. 3 things. Okay. All I wrote down was the word cones. It's good.
Cones?
Yeah.
What timestamp was that?
104.
Okay, that's where I'm going to put the ad.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just curious.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So cones. That's all I wrote down. I'm driving through town today, and have you seen Murphy's gas station?
I mean, not recently, I don't think.
So they have a fence all the way around the perimeter of the Murphy's gas station. The amount of gas is gone. Like there's nothing there.
Really?
There's yellow tape around every single gas pump. They have cones at the entrance where you can't get in. Literally, like it looks like, like the gates that are outside of a military base.
Yeah.
That's what's outside of this.
Why?
They're remodeling and redoing the whole gas station.
Why is it so heavily armed?
I don't know if it's heavily armed. It doesn't have like spikes at the top, but it's like just the point. They have a huge gate and like, or a big fence.
Okay.
Me and my niece are leaving Walmart and we are driving past Murphy's and this van cuts me off. Minivan.
Ugh.
Oh my God, I'm burping. But anyway, she fits her minivan through the cones.
What?
Goes into the parking lot, pulls into a freaking pump.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know why it pissed me off so bad, but it did. I was pissed. I was like, are you dumb?
Pay
Like,
attention
what?
to your surroundings.
Like, she had to slow down to then proceed to go through the cones.
Why do you think the cones are there?
Yeah. And there's yellow tape wrapped around every gas pump. There's a fence.
And there's literally
And there's
nobody.
one car in the parking lot. And I don't know why it made me so mad. So then 5 seconds later, I'm driving through the parking lot and there's a car in the middle of the parking lot, like blocking the intersection because they got in an accident.
Oh my god.
That's fine and dandy. I
Yeah.
hate that. I hate it for you. Looks like the person drove off who hit them
Are you serious?
because he's standing alone in this intersection and his whole front end is on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And they just left. So I had my fill of stupid today.
just over it.
You know what I would do if somebody tried to leave me in that situation? I'd ram their car so freaking hard. I would chase them down.
Why wouldn't you just like take a picture of the license plate?
I guess you could do that too.
You're like, yeah, that's another solution, I guess.
Yeah. But I would
Choose
hit that
violence.
reverse, pull it back and drive, whoosh, till you got sideswiped.
Would your insurance then cover it?
I have no idea. I would be like, they hit me.
Ashley chooses violence, y'all.
Sometimes. No, I wouldn't do that.
No.
Oh, speaking of cars.
What?
Okay, did you see that woman that got sentenced for killing those two boys?
No.
Okay, woman. She's like 18, 17. Her boyfriend was in the passenger seat.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
I did.
And her...
She's going like 100 miles an hour.
Did you watch the video?
Of the car?
Of the car?
Yes.
Yeah, it was insane.
What a lunatic.
Yeah. But like, what's the evidence? I didn't look into it. Like, how did they prove she did it on purpose other than her driving recklessly?
I mean...
But they said that she planned it out and did it.
That's what I saw too. Like it was premeditated.
Yeah. I knew she was driving recklessly. I
How
know
did she
that.
survive that is my thing.
I don't know.
Because the person in the back seat was unfortunately perished and her boyfriend in the front seat perished.
Yeah.
And she was driving. And she was going like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and rammed right into a brick wall. How crazy. And then she looked so upset. Like,
In court, she was like about to, like she was sobbing.
yeah. Because her life's ruined.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
wild.
know. I wonder
And then
if-
what's with all these New Mexico people putting babies in dumpsters?
I don't know. I really don't, but it's very upsetting to me.
Yeah.
I don't get
Anyway.
it. Well,
Was there anything else we wanted to talk about? I feel like every time we get off, there's always something that I'm like, dang it.
because last episode, as soon as the podcast ended, I got the notification that Depp versus Heard was available on Netflix, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah. My ears
We always
itchy.
think about something.
Speaking of ears, on your AirPods, do they get dirty?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
And I clean my ears.
I clean my ears out almost every day.
Yeah, they get dirty, very. But they make little tools that you can go like clean the inside of your case and your
It's the
AirPods.
case that's dirty to me,
Yeah.
not the actual AirPod itself.
The case of mine are filthy.
Yeah, I need to,
Admittedly.
like right where the ear hole sits and the
Mhm.
air. Okay, good. I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm not the only
No,
one.
no, I think it's a pretty
I
universal
need to get a
experience.
case.
I also need to get a case for mine. I was looking
I lose them in my purse like crazy. Not the actual pods, but like the
case.
the little case.
Yeah, it's hard to find just like digging around in there. You
Yeah.
know? You need one with a keychain.
I need a bag like yours.
I tried to find a Scream one for you.
I did too. I tried to find
couldn't
one too on
find
Etsy.
any. I couldn't find any that I was like, she would like those. Some of them were kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe you'll just have to make a pair.
You can make me a case.
Can I?
Mm-hmm. with clay or whatever it is.
It's gonna be thick.
I wonder if I can find a Lego one. That'd be cute.
We'll look, yeah.
That'd be cute.
Okay, don't forget, you guys, if everybody donates $1,
Ashley can buy her dream Lego set. It comes out September 4th, but because I'm an insider now, I can get it September 1st.
Oh, are you a subscriber to the Lego website?
Yeah. They have this thing now where you scan your Lego sets and then you get points.
You can redeem stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what you can redeem. I'm not sure, but
you need some Lego merch.
Yeah. And then you can scan each individual block and it's like a treasure hunt. You can hit big on a treasure.
Oh, wow.
But I haven't done that yet.
Well, the next Lego set that you get.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming up.
I know. Black Friday. That's what I'm going to look for is Black Friday deals.
I'm sure they'll
Lego.
have some.
Family members, listen up.
If anybody's wondering what to get Ashley.
Legos.
Period.
I almost want those flower sets are kind of cool.
Yeah, the little like succulent ones.
No, yes.
Oh.
Someone sent me this one. Someone as in Ashley sent me this one yesterday.
You can find some that are like
This one's
priced
cute.
okay, but that is cute. That's cute. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, but that's not what I was talking about. And they have like a new range of flower sets. Like it's almost like you put them in a vase and everything.
The thing about the Lego sets is like you can find some that are like cheap, but then it's going to take you 2 minutes to put it together.
Yes, and that's not worth it to me.
No.
I want something like a challenge.
Yes, that's going to take you a while.
Yeah.
To occupy you.
I know somebody that has a Lego set they're going to bring me so I can do it for them, but
you just want more on the back burner that way.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep ordering them.
My TikTok's going to be Legos for a while, guys.
That's okay. That's all right. Good episode.
I think so. It was a little deep.
That's okay. I feel like it was good.
Yeah. My son just walked in the room. What? Comes in here. What are you doing? Here, I'm almost done. Go. No. No.
Can I have ice cream? No.
I don't have any.
Kidding. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
La 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 la. Son, you wrapped that cord around me.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.